All right, guys, so go into another passing sequence that can expose the back for you guys. So right from here, stepping right into the HQ once again. Same deal, we control the shins, and I step in. Now when I step in here, guys, I want to pivot and shift my weight to my left-hand side. So from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my outside leg in. As I bring my outside leg in, my right hand's going to go to the hip, left hand above the shoulder, right here. Now my right leg's going to come in, just like this. Now as I bring my right knee underneath his leg here, I pivot on my toes, and I drop my chest down. Now from here, shoulders nice and low. It's resting on his chest here. I'm looking towards where I'm looking to pass to, right? But like I said, we're looking for the back take on this one. From here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my left leg out, kick it. Once I kick it, I bring my heel up and over, make a hook behind his ankle here. So now I'm trying to guide Nick away towards his right-hand side, my left-hand side. Once I get here, once I make this hook here, I use my left hand to make a hook here to reinforce this position here, right behind his leg. Now my right hand that hugged his hip earlier is still gonna be on the hip here. Now as I continue to walk around to my right-hand side, what I want you guys to do is lift the hip up here and shrug the person away. So I'm gonna give him the option to turtle. As I walk back over towards my right-hand side, my right hand's gonna lift on his hip here. As I lift here, I'm gonna create this space here between the mat and his right hip. As soon as I create that space here, guys, what I want you guys to do is take your right knee and slide it underneath here. So once I created that space here, I'm gonna bring my right knee in as I get my right hand over his shoulder. 1 and 2, and I drop to my right-hand side. As I drop to my right-hand side, I lock in that seatbelt. So now my right knee's underneath here. What I want you guys to do right away is block his top hip with your left leg. So now basically what I'm doing is pinching his hips in between my 2 knees here. This way Nick can't jump back over. If I allow this left knee to, just kind of hang out down here, he may kick up and over and land to the other side here and give us a tough time here. So I trap the hip right away. Once I trap the hip right away, even though we don't have any hooks in yet, I'm still gonna use this position here to thrust the hips into his lower back to open him up. Once I open him up here, I throw the first hook in on top. And when I make that first hook here, I try to hook the inside of his thigh. So now when I throw that hook in, 1 and 2, I open him up. As I open him up, notice how I use my right foot off the mat to push off the mat and use my right leg like a seesaw here, like a shovel, to lift his hips up to create space so I can kick my right leg in through to make that second hook in. So again, one more time. So again, when passing, guys, especially without the gi on, it's gonna be fast. And once you pass there, most people, they don't wanna give up the cross side. So they're gonna take that risk, they're gonna gamble and try to turn away for the turtle position. That's when we take advantage of that. So again, we control the shins here, we press, we step. Once I step here, my right hand is gonna scoop on his hip right off the bat. Right, this is what's gonna help us lift the hips up later on. So as soon as I insert my right hand, like an ice cream scoop right here, boom. Now I place my left hand above his shoulder, right knee in, I pivot, I walk down, and I keep that staple here. Once I keep that staple here, guys, I let my right knee drop to the mat, but I still make sure to keep that staple over the top of his leg. So right knee on the mat, left hand above the shoulder. From here, it's almost like I'm trying to cut the corner to my right-hand side, like this, right? The reason why I cut the corner to my right-hand side, so it's easier for you guys to get this hook behind the person's ankle, and I can come back, right? Because if I stay here like this, for example, and try to make the hook here, it could be hard to do that, right? So when I cut the corner here, I have more range of motion to put that hook in, and then I step up. Now when I step up here, I want to reinforce this position here. Like I said, my whole goal right now is to guide him away. I want him to think that he can get away from me, but we're always ready for the back take. So from here, once I make this hook here, left hand that was above his shoulder is gonna come back underneath. I'm gonna hook the back of his leg as well. Thumb up, 4 fingers underneath, just like this here. Now, as I continue circling around my right hand side now, I'm gonna use my right hand that we put in from the beginning, right, to lift on his hip here. So as I'm here, I walk. Now from here, like a shrug, I lift his hip up. As I lift the hip up, create that space between his hip and the mat, I slide my right knee in. As I slide my right knee in here, I'm gonna drop to my right hip as I shoot my right hand over his shoulder and my left hand underneath the armpit, making that seatbelt. Right away, guys, we have to block that hip. Don't go for the hook right off the bat, because he may block the hook or block the hook, and then he may kick over to the other side or kick over. Nick's very good at doing this here. He's very good at defending the back. So once I get to this position here, you want to lock him in place. So get your knee on his hip. So now his hips are in between your two knees here. Tight seatbelt, chin down. From here, I thrust the hips forward. Open them up. Now I bring in the first hook from over the top here. 1. Once I put in that first hook here, I open him up. I open up the hips using that first hook. Most people put the hook in and kind of let the hook just, dangle there, right? As soon as I put my hook in, I hook with my heel inside of his thigh. I'm going to open up towards my left-hand side as I drive off the mat with my right foot, lifting him up with my right knee. So now I create that space here to throw that second hook in as we drop back down to the right-hand side. Seatbelt's already in place, chin down. Now we're in a great spot here. We're on the back.